Welcome into Tennessee Football Talk, brought to you by Prize Picks. My name is Joey Peterson. So happy you guys are hanging out with us for the second time today. And yet again, we got a lot to go over on today's show. Lots of good news coming out of training camp, also coming in the recruiting front. Let's start with David Sanders and his growth. Glen Ellerby heaped a lot of praise on the sophomore in his post-practice press conference. And then in the recruiting front, a five-star edge rusher, DJ Jacobs. It really feels like Tennessee's kind of starting to gain a little bit more momentum in that flip possibility. After that, we're going to talk about a portal addition not enough people have been talking about over the last couple of months. And then we're going to round things out with a quarterback that Tennessee might be landing within the week. Again, pumped you guys are with us. Let's start off with one David Sanders Jr. Was the biggest win in the 2025 recruiting class, number 11 overall player. His true freshman season went really well, I thought. Of course, it came with his ups and downs, but started 6 games after missing the first 4 due to injury, and I really thought he showed flashes of what he could turn into. And I think the voters saw that as well. 2025 SEC All-Freshman team, and going into this year, he's preseason All-SEC second team. And I think his best showing was on the road against Alabama. And I know Alabama didn't have their usual lethal pass rush as we've seen of guys, over the last decade and a half. Jonathan Allen comes to mind. Will Anderson Jr. comes to mind. But still, to go 50 snaps on the road against the Crimson Tide, pass blocking grade of 84.1, pressures allowed 0, I'm going to be excited if you're putting that out on tape, especially as a true freshman. But that's the thing about these highly rated prospects. Sure, we want them to come in and show promise, but you can't build a career based on promise. You've got to develop. And so far, at least from Glen Ellerby's point of view, that's exactly what David Sanders is doing. Ellerby spoke to the media and said, yeah, he's incredible, man. I think the thing for him now is he's so much different. And there's things that he can do technique-wise that before, when he was light and not strong, he had to find ways to make up for it. So I think that's the growth process in this camp for him. He's freaky talented. He's as good looking as he possibly can be. Now, man, you have that body. How can I use it in a different way where my technique and my fundamentals can be even better? He's done that. To his credit, he wants that. He wants the coaching. He wants the little things, and he wants to be elite. And I think that's the good news in all of this is not only did you land a really talented player about a year and a half ago, not only did he play well in his true freshman season, but he's poised to take that next step. He's made the developments to his body. He's added that weight, added that strength, and he's also, made the developments to his technique, made the developments to his ability to play that game. And I think there's a reason that they felt comfortable in letting Lance Hurd walk in the transfer portal and say, hey, look, this second-year player, we're good, him being the most important position on the offensive line, right at the left tackle spot. It's a big jump. I think he's ready for it. We'll know by week 1 against Furman. And good news about week 1. We will be live for that bowl game, me and producer Gage. So make sure you're subscribed, have those notifications on. We're going to have a lot of fun. Week 1 games on SEC Network Plus, so if you can't get it, come join us right here. All right, let's talk flips. It would be so sweet if Tennessee could pull this off. We talked about David Jacobs a lot over the last couple of months, and I feel like things kind of got a little bit quieter over the last week or so. But the number 3 national player has been committed to Ohio State since December. Number 1 edge rusher in the country. And after you landed DGG, I feel like the smoke and attention turned towards, hey, maybe Tennessee can deliver Ohio State another L in this recruiting class and flip their best player. Well, apparently Austin Price of VolQuest earlier in this week said that Tennessee is positioned very well with the 5-star edge rusher commit, DJ Jacobs. And if you know anything about Austin Price, he was on the money when it came to DGG's commitment throughout its entirety. When people were feeling Buckeyes, he was always saying, hey, look, I like where Tennessee is positioned. He's saying that same thing for DJ Jacobs. And the national guys are saying it. Look, Miami and Tennessee, they still have a pulse in this process, says Steve Wilfong. But I think the best part of this entire kind of news dump and the recent things that we've got on Jacobs is that the OSU insiders, those guys inside the program, the Buckeyes, they are feeling it as well. I'll tell you what they had to say in a second, but I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor over at Prize Picks. If you have not checked them out, now is the time to do it because guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's Taco Tuesday. That's right, every single Tuesday. Prize Picks does this awesome thing where they will make a player's more just a little bit less than it usually is, giving you a great option to win some money. They don't do it just with one player, one stat projection. They filter them out throughout the entire day, so you've got lots of opportunities to take advantage of the things that they are giving you. We got a 3-pick power play going tonight, 5 to win 1750. We took the Skeens more on strikeouts, the more on Boston rebounds and assists, and there's that taco, more for Kelsey Mitchell, 16.5 points with Indiana. Fade me, tail me, do whatever you want. Just make sure it is done on Prize Picks. That new offer, it's a new user offer where you can get $150 in bonus lineups if you play and win a $5 lineup. You just got to sign up with code HMA to take advantage of it. Prize Picks is switching up their offer, so make sure that you can take advantage, okay? They're doing it for you guys. Go ahead, get yourself $150 in bonus lineups if you win. Of course, you got to sign up with code HMA. Letterman Row, Ohio State's message boards. Gage, if we could change the color on those going forward, thank you. Said, look, I don't think the Tennessee buzz is random. They know how far Ohio State is willing to go in these recruitments, and they are trying to exploit that. Another Letterman Row update over the last day or so. There's going to be a ton around this. Ton around DJ. There was always going to be a ton around DJ. And then another update. There's a reason DJ committed when he did. The Buckeyes feel like they have a good plan. Obviously, a lot can happen in 4 months. So hearing that from the guys who have been covering his recruitment for its entirety, the guys who a couple of weeks ago when we talked DJ Jacobs flip, they were saying, you know what, that's not going to happen. For them now to be saying, hey, look, we expected there to be some conjecture about this. We expected there to be a little bit of conversation. We knew this was always going to be a topic when it comes to DJ Jacobs. It feels a little bit to me, and again, this might just be speculation at this point, that there is some backpedaling happening over there in Ohio State. And I don't want to say momentum's flipping sides because I don't think it's gotten to that point yet, but it does feel like Tennessee's buzz it's picking up is real, and it's felt not just on the Knoxville side, but on the Columbus side as well. Let's talk about that steal that you got in the transfer portal. It's Quay Moss. And the cool thing is it feels like me and producer Gage have been on top of this one for the entire time. Like if you go back and look at his commitment video when he committed out of the portal, I said, man, not enough people are talking about how big of a pickup this guy is for the Tennessee Volunteers. He is a plug-and-play starter in your cornerback room, in that nickel spot, that slot corner spot. And I think what's really cool about him is that he's going to allow Jim Knowles, your new defensive coordinator, to have a little bit more of a versatile look on defense because he's the guy who can play a ton of different positions. Ryan Sylvia was at fall camp practice today and said, look, Quay Moss also just looks like a veteran who's moving very well. Huge addition to add somebody with experience at the nickelback spot who is also extremely talented. And what do we tell you guys about this sport of football? We discuss it, it feels like almost every single day. It is a copycat sport, whether that's college football or whether that's the National Football League. And a lot of times college football just ends up copying what the NFL does in general. We had this discussion when we talked Jim Knowles employing more of a 3-safety kind of system defensively for the Tennessee Vols, because you've seen that pick up over the last couple of years in the NFL. 14.5% in 2023, up 6% since then. Last year in 2025, over 1/5 of the time, defenses were using 3-safety looks. You see Vic Fangio, Mike McDonald kind of do these things. That's what Quay Moss is here to do in Knoxville. And so to hear the early returns in fall camp, like, hey, he's a plug-and-play guy. He looks like a veteran. He looks poised out there to have a big season in Knoxville, Tennessee. Of course, we don't want to overreact because it is fall camp. It's August 10th or 11th, whatever day it is. We're pumped up and ready for football season, but this is what you want to be hearing at this point in time. Which transfer portal player do you think makes the biggest impact? Is it Quay? Maybe it's Amari Campbell, Xavier Gilliam. Let me know your answer down below in the comment section. Let's talk class of 2028, shall we? Isn't it crazy to think the class of 2028 kids, they were born in 2010? Absolutely unbelievable. I cannot believe it. Let's talk about some kids who were born in 2010, specifically with Caden Kraft. He set that commitment day for next Monday, August 17th. Almost top 100 player in the class, top 10 quarterback out of North Carolina. Well, Hunter Shelton of Rivals feels like Tennessee is in a very, very good spot. He wrote just yesterday, Tennessee is the program that continues to trend for Kraft, according to the Rivals prediction machine. Josh Heupel's program has made quite the impression on Kraft. The Vols went to North Carolina, landed 5-star quarterback Faison Brandon. They can now go back to the Tar Heel State for their next passer. Now, obviously, this is from his sophomore season. When you're young, playing high school football, you don't expect the completion percentage to be incredibly high. Kind of what you want to see is, hey, is this guy a gamer? Can he put the ball in the end zone, whether it's with his arm or with his legs? And he did that. 30 total touchdowns last year, 17th of the year. He had 13 on the ground, 4 interceptions. So, held the ball to his own team a good bit of time as well, just over 2,000 yards passing. It's hard to say that a guy who's just finished his sophomore year in high school is going to be an elite player for the Tennessee Vols. I think he's going to be a good pickup. I have liked what I've seen so far, from what everybody's saying, the scouts, on his potential development, potential ceiling in college football. And, hey, if you pick up a 4-star quarterback, I'm never going to be upset about it. I think the questions I have is, how does this affect Derek Baker from here on out? Like, what happens with him? 3-star quarterback, he got committed for the class of 2027. Does he feel weird, like he's sandwiched in between a 5-star and a 4-star? Does he hold his commitment? Does he go somewhere else? That's definitely something I'm going to be monitoring. But good news that Vols are trending in the right direction. That's all I got for you today, Vol fans. We'll be back tomorrow morning with some fall camp news. So make sure you lock us in. Follow me on socials. The vast majority of the stuff, if you follow me on Twitter, you would have already seen it, okay? Because it's a lot faster to send out a tweet than it is to make a video. So make sure you got me followed over there. TikTok, Instagram as well. Most important, though, for you to be subscribed. Long-form content is the best kind of content because we can go real in-depth, in the weeds. That's what we do every single day right here on Tennessee Football Talk. So make sure you lock us in.